Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Austin here, and it is day 10 of overcoming my addiction. And in this video, much like I was doing on that pull-up bar just now, we're going to be talking about embracing pain and using it as a positive force rather than a negative force, or rather allowing it to be a negative force in our lives. You know, as human beings and in this society, we've been taught over and over that pain is bad and we should avoid pain at all costs, which is very, very true. But it's more so along the lines of physical pain, but what I'm here to talk about with you guys is emotional and mental pain. As far as physical pain goes, we really have no power of how much pain we feel or how much we don't feel. Obviously, we have control over it, but we don't have power over like our actual like textile feelings. But I believe when it comes to our mental and our emotional abilities, we can really control what pain is coming in and what is going out and how that affects us. All throughout my childhood and even through my middle-aged years, I had taken a lot of traumas and a lot of pain from a bunch of different people throughout that time. For example, when it comes to my parents, they abused a lot of alcohol and drugs, and their addictions really affected me because over and over they were split up, or my mom was in rehab, or my dad was in rehab. And whenever they'd go to rehab and stuff, it was just an interesting time period where, you know, my parents just basically left me. As a full-grown adult now, I understand that that's not what they were doing exactly, but as a kid, that's literally how it was like seen. And of course, when I was very young, like 8 to 10 years old, I was sent to foster care for a while because my parents couldn't take care of me because they were, you know, in and out of their addictions. And if you watch my first video that I did on this series, I talk about where my addiction stemmed from in terms of the trauma. And you know, that traumatic experience can be looked at as a completely negative thing. Understandably so, but there are actually a lot of underlying positive attributes to having traumatic experiences like that. One thing that I can give y'all on the top of my mind is that when you have traumatic experiences, you can learn from those experiences and in the future don't repeat those cycles that were done onto you. It also can teach you what not to do and what to do in those situations. And the other thing that comes on the top of my mind is, you know, how I'm making these videos for you guys. Rather than only using the information from the trauma for myself, I can then teach onto others what I've experienced and what to do and what not to do. So instead of letting my traumas depress me and deprive me of joy, I've used my traumas in a positive way. I've utilized all my traumas to become the man I am today and to harness the mentality that I have today. So if you're watching this video right now and you have a trauma that has occurred in your life, and that trauma just kind of digs into your soul, you know, like puts its fangs in you, I want you to try this one difficult yet simple concept. Think about how that trauma has affected you and try to flip it from negative to positive impact. Of course, no matter what, that trauma is going to negatively affect you in some way, but it is up to us at the end of the day whether to allow it to be like that. And actually, if you have a trauma that you're comfortable with sharing in the comment section below, if y'all are able to come up with a positive flip side to that trauma, I want you to also leave that next to that in the comment section below. And don't worry about anybody seeing it, honestly, just do it for yourself. And even if it's not on the comment section of this video, you could just like pull out a notepad or go on Google Docs and just type or write your trauma and then try to flip that to a positive angle. And it's also a fact that the more bad experiences that you have throughout your life, the more mental resilience and emotional toughness that you obtain from that. That's why when you're a little kid, the smallest things can make you cry, but as you get older and older, it becomes harder and harder to cry because you just become more emotionally aware and more emotionally mature. Now, this is not to say that crying is a bad thing or anything like that. All I'm saying is that your mentality becomes a lot more tough and you can think a lot more clearly in tougher situations later down the line in your life. And with that all being said, in turn, that means that difficulty does not equal bad. And it's actually a positive thing the more difficulty that you have in your life, especially in your early years. That's why you'll notice a lot of richer kids or kids that are brought up wealthy or brought up in actually like good households, or kids that have just been sheltered from the problems of life. They tend to just be a lot more clueless later in their life. And then when they find out some of the bad experiences that they should have had when they were younger, it's a lot harder hitting. It's why I believe that like sheltering your kids from like every negative thing or perceived negative thing in life is a bad thing. Of course, I'm not gonna show my kid pornography or anything crazy like that, but what I won't do is lie to them about the existence of it. I just think it's very important that when you're a kid, you learn about this stuff early on so that you begin to build a more mental resilience. Yeah, so basically the concept of this video being embracing the hurt or utilizing the hurt that you have experienced for good. It basically consists of 3 things. Turning our traumas into advantages, having more experiences so we build more of a mental resilience, and the last one being that difficulty just isn't bad, which kind of ties into the other concepts. With the knowledge that difficulty isn't a bad thing, I would encourage you to try to do more difficult things rather than going for the easy path, which is the natural thing that humans do. Try to stray away from that natural path of easy and go for the difficult things, because sometimes the difficult things, actually I will say all of the time, the difficult things tend to give more of a reward down the road. That's why things like pornography and alcohol and drugs are so bad for you, because they're so easy, quick dopamine hits, and it takes absolutely no effort to do. But if you do, for example, make a business and you grow that business and you profit from it, that is infinitely more difficult to do, and the benefits and the reward for it is much greater also with that difficulty. So yeah guys, that's basically it. That's a TED Talk for today. Like I said earlier in the video, leave a comment down below if you have a trauma that negatively affects you, and then next to that comment I encourage, try to flip that into a positive thing. And you'll notice that if you actually do this in your real life, everyday life, it will benefit you, I promise. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate every single one of y'all who clicked on this video. If you enjoyed the video or if this video has helped you, I'd highly appreciate if you left a like. And if you're new to the channel and you like this video, I'd highly recommend subscribing, as I'm going to be making content on this channel like this in the future. Once again, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.